This story takes place in 1920, when the king of Alwar, Jai Singh Prabhakar, was travelling far from India in London. King Jai Singh came from a very wealthy family, and in India he always wore his royal attire. But in London he was roaming around in ordinary clothes. He didn't have his servants or attendants with him either. Just then he spotted a Rolls-Royce showroom. King Jai Singh was very fond of luxury cars, so he went inside the showroom. There was a salesman there. The king approached him and said, "I want to buy a car." The salesman looked at the king and, seeing his simple clothes, thought to himself that he must be some poor Indian. How could he possibly buy a Rolls-Royce? And that salesman insulted King Jai Singh and had him thrown out of the showroom. After this, he decided that he would avenge his insult by humiliating Rolls-Royce itself. The next day, he arrived at the same showroom dressed in his royal attire, accompanied by his ministers and servants. Upon seeing the king, everyone bowed their heads before him. After that, the king bought 6 Rolls-Royce cars from there. The showroom staff were overjoyed that so many cars had been sold. When he brought the cars back to India, he handed all of them over to the municipal corporation and ordered that from that day on, all the city's garbage would be collected and disposed of using these cars. The very next day, the 6 gleaming Rolls-Royce cars were put to work collecting trash. This news spread like wildfire across the world. Rolls-Royce began to face disgrace around the world, and people stopped buying their cars. Eventually, Rolls-Royce realized their mistake, apologized to Raja Jai Singh, and even gifted him 6 Rolls-Royce cars. In this way, the king avenged his insult. As Robert Greene writes in his world-famous book, The 48 Laws of Power, "Win through your actions, never through argument." The 48 Laws of Power is considered one of the best self-improvement books in the world. So today, I will tell you about 6 more amazing laws from this book that many politicians and businessmen around the world use to become more powerful. If you also follow these, you too will become more powerful and people will respect you more. So let's jump to the second law. Law number 2. Speak less than necessary. Louis XIV, who was the King of France, had a habit that whenever someone brought him bad news, he would simply say, "I shall see," and then sit silently. All his ministers would become very nervous, wondering what exactly the king was thinking, what he was going to do next. And in this anxiety, the ministers, nervous to break the silence, would start talking about something or the other. And because they talked too much, they would end up giving a lot of valuable information to King Louis, while King Louis would just silently listen to them, and that's why many philosophers consider him the best king France has ever had. Now, this law is not just for kings. Anyone can use it. I often see people talking too much, discussing things that are pointless. If you do this, then stop this habit from today itself. Because people who talk too much, others don't value their words. They are not taken seriously. On the other hand, if you speak less, people value your words. Whenever you speak, people listen to you attentively. Once something is said, it cannot be taken back. That's why, when you speak less, the chances of you saying something wrong also decrease. People who speak less also seem more interesting and mysterious because others want to know more about them, but they don't talk much about themselves. Law number 3. Use absence to increase respect and honor. If you are always available to people, gradually they will stop valuing you. That's why you should also learn to stay away from everyone for a while. Learn to walk alone. This will make people realize that you can live without them. You have your own separate life as well. In your absence, people will think about you more and talk about you more. Many prominent politicians follow this law. Whenever they are invited to a ceremony or party, they stay there for just 5 minutes and then leave, saying that they are busy. Now, it's not necessary that they are actually busy, but they don't want to lower their value by staying there too long. In the same way, you too can use absence to increase your value. Law number 4. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. When you are not among people, what do they say about you? How many times do they think before speaking ill of you? This is determined by what kind of reputation you have among them. If a person always lies and that has become their reputation, then even if they ever tell you the truth, it will still seem like a lie to you. If someone is always serious, then even if they joke around, you'll feel like they're trying to say something serious because their reputation is that of a serious person. Similarly, there was a general in China. He was famous throughout the country for his sharp mind and diplomacy. Once his army had gone out of the city to suppress a revolt, and this news reached one of the general's enemies, who then set out to attack the general's city with a large army. When the general found out about this, he told his remaining soldiers to open the main gate of the city, take down all the flags, and for everyone to hide somewhere inside the city. And after saying this, the general took off his army uniform, put on the clothes of a sage, went up to the wall above the city's main gate, and started playing the flute. When his enemy arrived near the general's city with his large army, he saw that the general was sitting above the gate, and there was no sign of worry on his face. So, he ordered his army to stop. The general's enemy began to think, "I have heard many stories about this general. This general is extremely cunning, and there must be some trick behind this strange behavior of his. Is it really true that his army isn't in the city?" And caught up in these doubts, the Chinese general's enemy turned back with his army and left from there. That general had no army, no weapons, but he had a strong reputation, which not only saved him, but also let him win without fighting. That's why you should build a strong reputation for yourself and also protect that reputation. Law number 5. Act like a king to be treated like one. Your attitude is everything. If you act like a weak person in front of others, people will treat you like a weak person too. If you act like a strong person, people will treat you as a strong person as well. For example, you must have gone to school at some point. In school, there are some kids who are physically very strong, but they are not mentally strong. When someone bullies them, they can't stand up for themselves or say anything. On the other hand, there are some kids who may not be that physically strong, but their character is very strong. They don't let anyone dominate them, they stand up for themselves, and that's why even bullies keep their distance from them. So it's clear that the way you present yourself is exactly how people will treat you. That's why you should present yourself confidently and courageously like a king, so that people treat you the same way. Law number 6. When asking for help, don't depend on mercy. Look, whether you believe it or not, the truth is that no matter how much you help people, they don't remember your help, because with time, people tend to forget the past. So if you help people a lot and expect that they will help you in return, that's not how it works. Not everyone is kind. Some people think 10 times about what's in it for them before helping anyone, even a little. In such situations, you need to know how to get your work done by others. Robert says that if you need help from someone, you have to tell them how helping you will benefit them. For example, if you have to complete an assignment but you don't understand how to do it, you might think about getting it done with someone's help. So you think about asking your intelligent friend for help. Now, if you call him and say, "Bro, do my assignment for me," there's a high chance he'll refuse. Why? Because there's nothing in it for him. But if you call him and say, "Bro, help me complete my assignment. In return, I'll give you last year's exam sample papers," then he'll definitely agree, because by helping you, he's also benefiting. If you ask people for help in this way, they'll actually be interested in helping you. At the same time, your image will also become more powerful because you talk about things that benefit both parties. Law number 7. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Most people have the habit of wanting to tell everyone how hard they work. They want people to appreciate their hard work. But Robert Greene believes that by showing your hard work to others, you actually reveal your weak image. Let me explain with an example. Suppose you have 2 friends. Both of them are very skinny. Both decide that they will start working out. Now, one of those friends works out on his rooftop in the evening. You see him every day, struggling to do push-ups, working really hard. The other friend works out at 5 in the morning, so you never see him working out or putting in the effort. After 6 months, you meet both friends. Both of them had built good bodies. You ask both of them how they did it. The first friend says, "Bro, I worked really hard, maintained my diet, and that's how I built my body." The second friend also put in just as much effort, but he says, "Yeah, bro, did a few push-ups and built this body." So now tell me, which one would you consider more powerful? Most people would consider the second friend more powerful because he makes it seem like building a body was very easy for him, which means he can do anything easily. On the other hand, the friend who shows that he worked really hard is actually showing that nothing comes easily to him. Now both of them have worked hard. The lesson here is to keep the practice and hard work behind your achievements a secret. This will help you build the image of a strong person. So these were 7 laws from the book, The 48 Laws of Power. If you want videos on the remaining laws as well, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video with more live lessons and book summaries like this. Thanks for watching.